Thank you. And we will move to general public comment. Do we have any speakers?
Yes, we do.
Or secretary?
Public commenters, we're going to open public comment. Please state the agenda item number you wish to comment on, and please also be mindful that you will have 2 minutes for public comment. The first speaker will be Ziggy Kraus, followed by Robert Blue.
And I just want to clarify, is this general public comment, in which case there doesn't have to be an agenda item, it's just general public comment? Okay, go ahead.
Just general public comment, item 3. Hi. After 2 weeks of complete silence from the LADWP, we find ourselves back in front of your board. On July 12th, we handed each of the commissioners our letter, which we had previously emailed to you the night before. In fact, President McClain said that they have received it. We hope that someone either from the board or your office or your staff would reach out to us. Nothing, okay? That absolutely didn't happen. The only thing that is ongoing is absolute silence from the Los Angeles Department of Water and Power. It is incomprehensible to me that you can turn your backs on your ratepayers, especially when part of your mission statements claims that you're customer-focused, as the gentleman just said earlier too, and environmentally responsible. We have not received a response in a customer-focused or environmentally friendly manner at all. I'm nervous because I'm really upset, okay? All we have experienced since June 23rd is absolute silence, sound-deafening silence. How can you, as a public entity, allow subcontractors and consultants to run the show with irrelevant, outdated photos and untrue claims so that they can deny an application that was previously approved? Please see application number 839. How can you, as a public entity, sit back and remain silent even though your ratepayers are reaching out to you in order to help resolve an unfair business practice, such as approving an application and then denying it the next day? How can you, as leaders of such a public entity, sit back and not at the minimum offer a solution to this issue, even though this issue was brought to you 2 weeks ago? But knowing the pattern of the LADWP, I'm not expecting any answers anytime soon because of the silence that we have received. With that in mind, I'm turning your attention to the public records request that we submitted last night, and as well as a hard copy being given to you today. Perhaps the requested documents would put answers to the questions we have. And to summarize it.
Remarks, ma'am?
Pardon me?
Please wrap up your remarks.
I'm done, because I am not expecting any correspondence from your department at all. So thank you.
The next speaker is Robert Blue, who will then be followed by Cameron Hurt.
Good morning. We attended the last DWP board meeting on July 12th. At that time, we brought up the issues regarding our application 839 for the turf replacement and landscape design services in detail, including written comments that were submitted to all of the commissioners. Although this issue was brought up to the highest level of governance at DWP 2 weeks ago, no one from DWP has contacted us. For an organization that is, customer focused, we were surprised that no one followed up with us, not even to say that the department's still investigating or looking into it. Although all that we received was silence, this is not what we'd expect from a public agency such as DWP for any customer, not just us. Applying for the turf replacement and landscape design services, we would expect DWP personnel to be responsive. If someone from the department felt there was a problem with the application, they'd explain their opinion to the customer and offer ways to help or have suggestions to have the customer correct any perceived deficiencies. Instead, LADWP offered to provide a landscape design that would, quote, not be eligible for a turf replacement rebate. How would that help your customers or help water conservation efforts? Ultimately, we would expect a customer-focused public agency to help their customers make it to the finish line when applying for conservation programs, not put up roadblocks. As a public agency, the LADWP does have an obligation to be open and transparent. In that regard, we are making a Public Records Act request of the governing board of LADWP to provide any and all communications and documents, including texts, emails, job file notes, photos, videos, et cetera, surrounding our application number 839 for the turf replacement and landscape design services. Regarding any visits made to our home by DWP, we are also requesting the names of persons, their titles, the name of the employer, it could be DWP or a subcontractor, the date or dates of their visit, any notes, photos, videos, et cetera, including on their personal cell phones or other devices. Thank you.
The next speaker is Cameron Hurt, who will be followed by Estuardo Mazarregos.
And just, excuse me, while that speaker's coming up, who is administering the turf removal program or replacement program?
The turf replacement is under my Water Resources Division, Commissioner.
And I assume that there is some process by
Yeah.
which we interact with people who have applied to the program and received either negative or affirmative response to their application?
That is correct, yes.
Okay. And you're aware of this particular complaint? You were here a couple weeks ago. Sorry.
Yes.
Okay. And I assume that someone in your organization is planning to respond to this customer.
Yes, the direction I gave staff after the last board meeting, when I heard the similar complaints we heard today, was to reach back to the customers. My understanding is prior to the board meeting, they had some discussions back and forth. Obviously not to the resolution wasn't to the satisfaction of the customers, to Mr. Blue. So, but I will be talking to staff again today and asking them to call and set up another meeting. My understanding had to do a difference of opinions on whether or not there was grass or not, based, I guess, on what I understand from Mr. Blue. Pictures that were taken prior to them purchasing the property where it was all dirt.
Well,
So
no,
we'll
but
look
the,
into
but
it.
the assertion here is that no one has spoken to them since the last board meeting. Are you representing that that's not the case?
I'm not aware if they spoke to them after the board meeting. They spoke before. I did ask for them to reach out again. Apparently that hasn't happened, so that will take place. I will make sure of it.
Okay, if you would, that would be terrific, and if you would
Absolutely.
simply follow up to make sure that there's some communication with this particular customer, that would be terrific through the chain. Appreciate it. I'm sorry, sir. Would you please give your name again?
Yes, good morning. My name is Cameron Hurt with the Repower LA Coalition. Very excited to be here, and thank you to the commission and everybody listening.